everybody, and welcome to my video today. Today I'm going to be using varied vases. I want to show you another card. We're going to make a card, but I want to show you another card at the end of the video that I put together. This varied vases is a really cute stamp set. It is a $1 Million Achiever stamp set, which means that there was a demonstrator that got to help design this, and that demonstrator is Mary Fish. I love Mary. She's amazing, and she sold $1 million in Stampin' Up products. So when you do that, you get to design a stamp set, which is so incredibly fun, right? So this month I'm using varied vases and lots of different things. This is part of my card class to go. I make 2 cards with this, and you can get that card class to go and this product, and you save a little bit of money, which is really amazing. So I'm going to leave a card right here. If you want to check that out and get the stamp set and the punch for a really great price, you can do that card class to go, and then you get 2 exclusive videos and you get 4 different kits. So today I'm going to make a card, and I'm using all of these stamp sets. I mean, these stamps that are in the stamp set. There's like a ton of them that I'm using. And we're going to do some embossing. We're going to do a bunch of stuff that I normally don't do. But I just wanted to have fun with this. Over the weekend, I played around with this, and I just thought it would be fun to do. So the first thing that we're going to start with is a Whisper White card base. Now, this is just an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. It's cut in half at 5.5. You fold that and you give it a good crease. That's going to give you an A2 size card, okay? So the next thing we have is a piece of Coastal Cabana, and it doesn't quite go all the way to the edge. You'll see that. So this is a piece that is 5.25, and then it's about 3 inches. I kind of eyeballed all this, which is usually not what I do. I usually have very specific measurements, but I wanted something that kind of sat in the middle like this. I am really loving having Coastal Cabana back in our lineup. So the next thing I have is this Grapefruit Groove piece of cardstock. This is cut at 4.5 by 3.5, and it's going to go right here in the middle. So the next piece that I'm going to need is a 3.25 by 4.25, and that's going to create a layer. So that's basically what our card is going to look like, but I want to do the stamping because there is a lot of it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp our vases, the outline of our vases, which is going to be this stamp here, this stamp here, and then I also want the floral images that are going to be in the vases, okay? And we're going to be doing a little bit of embossing because I wanted to do a little bit of watercoloring, but I wanted to make sure that nothing smeared, okay? So let me show you what we're going to do. We have our piece of Whisper White here, and I'm using some VersaFine ink. It just happens to be the black ink pad that I have out on my desk. You can do embossing with our inks, which is something that I did not know for a long time. So we're going to do this vase here. You don't have to move terribly fast, but I am trying to, you know, get this ink on here because I'm going to emboss, so I don't want it to dry. I'm also trying to not get my head right in the camera, but I want to make sure that I'm lining everything up. Okay, so then we have this one. Okay, I can do all the way down because it will fit. We'll just make sure we get that on there. And then for this next one, I'm not going to go all the way down because it won't fit in the vase. So we're just going to go right there, and it's going to overlap that other vase a little bit, and that's going to be okay. And then our very next image is going to be these leaves. So I want kind of 3 of them kind of down here on the bottom. I don't know, they're not exactly perfect, I guess. Okay, so now that we have, oh, I just smeared it, you guys. That's what I was trying to avoid. Okay, that's okay. So let's grab some iridescent embossing powder. And what I'm going to do is just sprinkle this all over it. And we're not being too precise here. I didn't get the embossing buddy out. It's just gonna stick to that ink. The thing with embossing powder, and this is how I store my embossing powder, just in these little containers. This is Dazzling Details. It's just an iridescent embossing powder. And then I just have this tray. It's called a snappy tray. All of these products will be linked on my website. And then it just has this, and you can pour it right back in. So I've just put the embossing powder on there, okay? And it's gonna give it a little sparkle. And then what I'm gonna do is take my heat tool, and we're gonna heat this up. So now it has a little bit of sparkle, you can kind of tell, but now that's embossed, so it's not gonna smear like I smeared it right in there, but that's okay. Okay, so now we're gonna do some of the other images to color all of this in, okay? So I have Coastal Cabana, and then we're gonna have Grapefruit Groove, and then I have Old Olive. So I'm gonna need a piece of scratch paper here because I'm gonna do some stamping off. So I have to replace this one. I didn't have enough blocks. Okay, so these are photopolymer stamps. So sometimes what will happen when you're first getting your stamp, sometimes it might come off blotchy. Sometimes you just have to stamp it a couple times. I like to do that just to get the ink soaked into that stamp, and then once you do that, it starts to stamp nicely. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going to ink this up. I'm going to stamp off. I'm not pressing too hard or leaving that on the paper very long, and then I'm going to come back over and stamp again. It's going to give me this very light image, okay? So now we'll do that with Grapefruit Groove, the same thing. Oh, that's not Grapefruit Groove, right? That's Coastal Cabana. Oh, I'm gonna need Coastal Cabana again. Let's do these floral images with the Coastal Cabana before we put it away. Again, I'm trying not to get my head right in the way, you guys. Just like that. It's okay if you go out of the lines a little bit because it's supposed to look watercolored, right? It's supposed to look like it's a little bit messy. And when we do this one up here, it's gonna look even a little bit more messy. So that's the great thing with this, what we're doing here, is nothing has to look too perfect. Okay, so we got that. And then we're gonna do this up here. So what I'm gonna do is just take my Grapefruit Groove, and I'm gonna smash that right on the corner of my block. Now when you're doing this, because you've embossed, the ink is going to somewhat stay in your embossed area because it's raised up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just come over here, and again, this part I am intending on it to look a little bit messy, and there's two reasons for that. One, it's just easy to get this done. These are very small kind of flowers, and I really don't want to spend a million years coloring all these little tiny things in and making it perfect. So by making it a little bit messy and using my Wink of Stella and adding some more glitter, it's supposed to look a little watercolored and a little splotchy, and you can just fill those in, and it kind of goes for that look, right? Okay, so there's that. And then we need to do the same thing with our green. So we have another leaf down here, and we're going to use Old Olive. Again, I'm just stamping off once and then stamping over my image. That's just giving me a lighter color. And you don't have to stamp off if you don't want. You could fill in the color dark if you wanted. Okay. So now I'm going to set this aside and assemble my card. So we have our Whisper White card base. I'm going to use some snail adhesive, and we're going to put Coastal Cabana. Now we're doing this somewhat in the middle. When I first started playing around with this card. I actually didn't want it right in the middle. I actually kind of had designed it to go at the bottom, but it just didn't work. So sometimes does that happen to you guys where you are designing a card or you're putting something together and you're feeling like you want it to do one thing, but then when you start to try to do it, it doesn't work. So you just got to readjust. So these are simple layers. The most work you're going to do is with the embossing, and you don't even have to emboss if you don't want. You can just do the stamping, and it's totally fine. Okay, so we have that piece down, and it's not perfectly centered, I can see. That's okay. So we're going to put this right here in the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to show you a couple things. So the next thing I have is this, which comes from this punch right here. It's a great punch to have. And the sentiment fits perfectly in here from this stamp set. So this one's going to say birthday wishes. And we're just going to try to get this centered. Okay, so I'm going to put a little snail on here. And what I'm going to do is set it right here. And then because I got this off-centered a little bit, I feel like it is a little bit off-centered, what we can do is take our rhinestones and put them right there just like that. So here's this card. So let me show you one other card that I did. This one was really fun. It is an all black card. Well, I mean the base is black. And then on the inside what I did is I just put a whisper white. But it has some layers, and then it's that Coastal Cabana. You could actually do this with any color. You could make this the purple. I used Gorgeous Grape for this. So it would really pop if you put a Gorgeous Grape right there. Here are the cards for my online card class using varied vases. These are 2 of the cards that you would get to make. So if you want to check that out, that would be great. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this card, and I will be back tomorrow. I'm not really posting on Tuesdays with it being summer break, but I have a special release tomorrow, and I had to push it back till Tuesday. It was supposed to happen today, but that's okay. It's summertime. Things are crazy. So it was nice to be able to share another card with you guys using the Varied Vases stamp set. And so make sure you come back tomorrow, and I will have another project for you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today and watching my videos. Here are 2 other of my most recent videos. I would love for you guys to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will catch you in my next video. I hope you all have a wonderful day.